David, a young man with a passion for gaming, spent most of his days exploring new virtual worlds. He loved the thrill of the unknown, the adrenaline rush of adventure. One late night, while browsing a gaming forum, a peculiar ad caught his eye. It wasn't flashy. In fact, it was hidden within a thread about indie games. It spoke of a game, Darkest Hour, available only on the dark web. Intrigued, David hesitated. He knew the dark web was a dangerous place, a haven for illegal activities. Yet, the allure of the unknown, of experiencing a game so exclusive it hid in the darkest corners of the internet, was too strong to resist. His heart pounded with a mixture of fear and excitement. This was unlike any game he'd encountered before. This wasn't some mainstream game, it was shrouded in secrecy, and that made all the difference. David spent the next hour wrestling with his conscience. Should he risk it? Was the thrill worth the potential danger? Ultimately, his curiosity won. He decided to venture into the dark web. He had no idea what he was getting himself into. The dark web felt different, cold and hostile. David navigated through poorly designed websites, his anxiety growing with each click. Finally, he found the page for Darkest Hour. The website was rudimentary, with a simple black background and a single download button. A shiver ran down his spine as he clicked it. The download finished quickly. He opened the game file, his pulse quickening. The game's opening sequence was simple, almost crude, but there was an unsettling realism to it. He created his character, a detective investigating a series of mysterious disappearances. The game world was dark, gritty, and immersive. David found himself drawn in, captivated by the storyline and the challenges it presented. He played for hours, losing track of time. The game was unlike anything he'd experienced before. It felt real, too real. The characters he interacted with, the cases he solved, all felt eerily authentic. As he progressed, the game started to feel less like a game and more like a portal into a hidden world. Then it happened. A message flashed across his screen, stark and chilling. "You shouldn't have found this game, David. Now you're playing for your life. Complete the next level or face the consequences."
You shouldn't have found this game, David. Now you're playing for your life. Complete the next level or face the consequences.
Fear gripped David. His mind raced, trying to comprehend the gravity of the situation. His heart pounded in his chest, each beat echoing the dread that filled him. He tried to dismiss it as a prank, a sick joke by the game developers, but the message felt too real, too personal. But deep down, a chilling certainty settled in. This was no joke. The game had ensnared him in its sinister web. Panicked, David tried to exit the game, but it wouldn't respond. The screen remained frozen, mocking his attempts. He tried shutting down his computer, but it was futile. He was trapped. The power button was unresponsive, as if the game had taken control of his entire system. The game had taken over his system, and there was nothing he could do. Every attempt to regain control was met with failure. He stared at the screen. The words of the threat burned into his mind. Complete the next level or face the consequences. He was in over his head, caught in something far more sinister than he could have ever imagined. The game was no longer just a game, it was a deadly trap. He had to do something, but what? His mind raced through possibilities, each more desperate than the last. He felt utterly alone, isolated in his fear. The room seemed to close in on him, the darkness amplifying his terror. He thought of calling the police, but what could he tell them? That he downloaded a game off the dark web and now he was being threatened. They'd never believe him. That he downloaded a game off the dark web and now he was being threatened. They'd never believe him. The absurdity of the situation made him hesitate. But he couldn't just sit there and do nothing. He had to find a way out, a way to break free from the game's grip. Desperately, he began searching online for any clues, any way to escape the game's clutches. Forums, articles, anything that might offer a solution. Finally, he stumbled upon a forum post from someone who claimed to have faced the same situation. The post detailed a series of steps to potentially break free. With a glimmer of hope, David followed the instructions meticulously. Each step brought him closer to what he hoped would be his escape. He held his breath as he executed the final step, praying that it would work. The screen flickered, and for a moment, Everything went dark. Then, the screen returned to normal. The game was gone, and his computer was back under his control. Relief washed over him, but the fear lingered. He knew he had narrowly escaped a deadly trap. The experience had left him shaken, but wiser. He would never forget the lesson he had learned. Some games are not meant to be played. Desperate, David thought of the only person he could trust, his best friend, Liam. The situation was dire, and he felt like he was drowning in a sea of uncertainty. His mind raced through the events that led him here, each memory a painful reminder of his current predicament. Liam was a tech whiz, a coding genius who could probably hack into the Pentagon if he wanted to. He had always been the go-to guy for any tech-related issues, and his skills were nothing short of legendary among their friends. David remembered the countless times Liam had bailed him out of tricky situations, always with a calm demeanor and a reassuring smile. Surely Liam could help him. He clung to that hope like a lifeline, the only thing keeping him from spiraling into complete despair. The thought of Liam's expertise brought a glimmer of hope to his otherwise bleak situation. He picked up his phone and dialed Liam's number. His hands trembled as he pressed each digit, the weight of his desperation making the simple task feel monumental. He could only pray that Liam would answer and have a solution to his problem. The phone rang, each ring echoing the frantic beat of David's heart. It felt like an eternity as he waited, the sound of the ringing phone amplifying his anxiety. He could almost hear his own heartbeat, loud and erratic, matching the rhythm of his growing panic. Liam picked up on the third ring. The relief was immediate, but it was quickly overshadowed by the urgency of the situation.